Hello everyone and welcome back to ENR 153 tutorial videos. In today's video, we'll go over how to create the template that we use for the ENR 153. It's basically this template. So it has these title blocks. Because if you guys have noticed that if we use the default SolidWorks templates, they're a bit crowded and there's not enough space for the actual model. So we went ahead and we actually created our own template to simplify and provide more space for the model. So we won't actually create this drawing in this video, but we'll create the template that we use to create all these drawings. So let's go ahead and jump into SolidWorks. And if I go to File, New, so I get these options, Part, Assembly, and Drawing. So let me just switch to the Advanced view. So right now, if I go to my templates, I have my part, my assembly, and my drawing. If I go to Drawing, hit OK, I get this option menu. And basically, these are our templates that have been created by SolidWorks, which are size A, which is a letter which is 8.5 inches by 11. There's size B, size C, D, and E, etc. So for our template, we're going to use size A, landscape. So if I go to browse, it's this one. So size A, landscape. Just in case yours is a bit different and these options don't show up, if you go to browse, it's the first one. So size A and it's landscape. So let's go ahead and open that one. Click OK. So I'm not inserting any model view, so I can just cancel that up, cancel all of that. So this is the existing template that is provided by SolidWorks. So we're going to go ahead and modify that to make it our own. So if I right click, I get this option, this menu, and if I click edit sheet format, it actually toggles me right now I can go ahead and modify the sheet template. And if I right click and hit edit sheet, and now I'm actually editing the sheet, which I can add model view as add dimensions. So the sheet is where I can add the models, add dimensions, show notes, stuff like that. And the sheet format is the template. So drawn, checked, engineering approved, manufacturing approved, stuff like that. So for ENR 153, we actually don't need any of this. We need some stuff like drawn by, but we want to create our own template that we want to go ahead and use for future classes. So I'm going to go ahead and hit delete on all of that. Select the outline. Delete. Okay. So I get this empty template, this blank template. So before I do that, I'm actually going to toggle my grid on, so it makes it easier to stab and create my template. So let me go back to edit sheet format. And I'm gonna go to so I'll go into my options and document properties. So before I set my grid, I'm just gonna make sure that I'm using the overall drafting standards. So we are using ANSI, that's correct. And for dimensions, this is fine. System options. Let me go to options. Where am I? Looking for the units. Right here. Sorry about that. So my units are, so we have been using IPS. So I want to make sure my standard for the drawing template is inches. So it's already set to inches. And from the previous videos, oral decimals for the length has been 3 decimal points. So I want to go ahead and modify that right now. And the angle, we don't need a decimal points for that, so we can do none. We're all set here. And let me go to my grid snap. So I want to display grid. Let's do a quarter of an inch, so 0.25 for a major grid spacing. Minor lines per major, let's do 1. And then snap points per minor is 1. That's fine. Go to system snaps. I want to make sure my grid snap is toggled on. So it's just easier when I create the rectangle and when I create the line, so I can make sure everything is coincident to the grid. Hit OK. So my so you can show the grid is shown right now. So let me go ahead to my, let's go edit sheet. So my grid's there and it shows it up there. Let's go edit sheet format. Let's start creating our template. So we're gonna go up to sketch. And I'm gonna start with a corner rectangle. And the nice thing about snap is actually it snaps. So I'm not drawing in space. It's actually gonna snap to a point. So I want to make sure it's equal. So let's start rectangle right here. And I want ½ an inch space around. So I'm gonna leave 2 squares. So created that. And I don't want these lines, so I can just go ahead and delete that. I don't need the center point. Just delete it. Or you can, you can go back and you can select everything that you don't want. But let me select it. I guess not. I guess it only selects one thing at once. So 1/2 inch away. So we've done that, and that's basically our outer boundary. So we create our outer boundary. So let's my drawing. Basically, we can see from this video it's around ½ an inch away. So we just created this rectangle right now. Jump back in SolidWorks. So I'm going to zoom in right here. I'm going to go to my line tool and create a horizontal line, cross, snap, right click, select. I'm going to create another line. Select. Perfect. So again, if we jump back to the template, just created these 2 lines. So I'm just going to zoom in a bit, and I'm going to go to my Annotation tab, go to Note, and so when you get close to a line, actually the leader shows up. So the leader snaps to the line. So we don't want that. We just want a note. So actually, if you move away from the line, the leader goes away. So let's write. So I can put caps lock on. Monroe Community College. So that's our first note. And after you hit OK, it actually shows up. I don't know if you need to add it somewhere else, but we don't need to. So I can either hit escape or we'll just exit out, cancel. So I have my first note. My second note is the author. So again, go back to note, zoom in, author, and I'm going to add a colon. And I'm going to hit the space key to add space around here. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to link the author property to the author from the part. So basically it drags this property from the part itself. So if I go to link to property up here, click on that. So I get this menu. And it's basically asking, okay, where should I link? What should I link to? So there's this current document and model found here. So what we want is the drawing view specified in sheet properties. Double check. Sorry about that. Yep. So we want drawing view specified in sheet properties. And basically now we can go to this drop down menu, and I want to select SolidWorks author. If I hit OK, right here, this dollar sign means this property is linked. So it's from the part sheet SolidWorks author. Okay. So we're done with this note. Let's go ahead and add a file name. Just gonna move it and go back to note and do file name. And this file name is the drawing name. So if I hit space, I'm going to link to property, and it's a current document. And for this one, I want the file name. So right here, SolidWorks file name. Okay. And you can see that my file name right now changed to drawing1, and that's what my drawing is called. So I can hit OK. Exit out of that. Let's add a last saved. So again, go back to no. Last saved. Space. I want to link the property. Current document. There should be, so there's last saved date and last saved by. So that would tell you who saved the file, and this one will give you the prompt date. So we want the date. So SolidWorks last saved date. So there's two formats, long and short. So we'll just keep the long one, and we can show time, or not show time. So we'll have the show time toggled. Hit OK. Track. Okay. So one thing to point out is If my note is black, that means the note is not linked to a property. If my note is blue, that means it's linked to something. I can move these around. Let's see, what else do we need? So let's add note for description. So the description is the description we added to the part. If you guys remember, we go to File, Properties, and then we go and add a description. So I'm going to link to property. Model font here. Drawing view specified in sheet properties. So the description, you guys can see the description is not here, not shown on the drop-down menu. The reason is because the description is a property that we added. It's not a SolidWorks default property. So let's cancel out of this. And one way we can link it is if we actually add a model with a description. So I'll hit okay. I'm just gonna go to edit sheet. I won't be able to add a model if I'm editing the sheet format. So I'm gonna go to view layout, model views, and we'll go more in depth in that. Basically, I'm just adding a view. Desktop, so I have my car project. I'm just gonna grab the chassis plate. So I only need to add one view. Don't worry about the isometric or the left or right. So right click. Let's go back to our sheet format. So my description. So colon space. I go to link to property now. Model font. Drawing view specified in sheet properties. My description shows up. And basically that's SolidWorks finding, okay, there's another a property that SolidWorks did not find first, but now since we added the model, we'll recognize there's another property that we can choose. So we can go ahead and choose description. Hit OK. And we can see that the description got generated with what we wrote in, and the description tab in the model. We have that all set. Let me just move this a bit. So we have two more notes that we want to add. So we need our units and our scale. So I can go to my note. Right here. I can do units. Oops, already have my caps lock on. So units, colon, and since this doesn't change, I can just write inches. So I'm gonna inch. Perfect. Again, I only need one. And it's black, that means it's not linked to a property. Let's go ahead and add our last node. That one is scale. So make sure our caps lock is on, scale. And that's going to be linked to our document. So if I go property name, scale should be here. So sheet scale, or sheet scale. Okay. That's 1 to 2. That's what it is set to right now. Click OK. Perfect. So we have all our properties in there. Let's go ahead and just organize this a bit better. So I'm gonna move these over. And I'm going to go to my sketch, grab my line tool. I'm just going to add some vertical lines. Right click, select. File name, here. Let's say description. So I'm going to add line here. Select. I'm just going to go on line here. So I have my bottom row all set. Depending on the description, so yours might be a bit longer. I just want to add a bit more space, so right here is fine. And our template is all set. So let's go ahead and edit sheet. So we're going back to our sheet. So right now, if I select my model and delete it, so I don't need the model anymore, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna turn my grid off. So go to options, applicant properties, grid snap. So display grid, I don't need that. Also, I don't want to snap to anything at this point. Okay. Perfect. So I have my outline. I have my properties. So the sheet, center that. So now what I want to do is I want to save this as a template so I can use it in the future. Create drawings for the parts we've created. So let's go File, Save As. And I'm gonna save it. So I created a folder called My Templates. So the other thing I want to mention is, actually I'll mention it a bit when it's easier to go over when we have the drawing all set. So let's save these files first. So I have a folder called My Templates. So I can go ahead and save that there. Click. And I don't want to call it chassis plate. So I'm going to call it MCC ENR drawing. For the type of file, I want to go ahead and I want to save sheet format. So let's go ahead and save a drawing template. So automatically takes you to the folder, so we don't want that. Again, go back to my desktop. It's probably easier if I change my type first. So my templates, I have a folder right here. File name is MCC ENR drawing. Save. We're all set. So one more thing, let's see if I can save that. So there's drawing template, the attached drawing. So I'm going to save it as a detached drawing, just in case I need that for future reference. Same name, MCC drawing. Save. So let me close that out. So now if I go to File, New, I have templates, MPD, and tutorial. So I don't have my template for the drawing. And one way to add it is if I go to Options, File Locations, and Drawing Templates. So I want to add Car Project, My Templates. I want to add this folder. So you want to make sure you select the folder itself. So my folder is called My Templates. Go ahead and select folder. Click OK. As Salvador is asking you, would you like to make the following changes to your search path? Click yes. Yes. So right now if I click File, New, you see another tab pops out, and that's My Templates, or whatever you called your folder. And it has my drawing, MCC ENR drawing. Click OK. I have my drawing. No Community College, and right now it's set to my drawing is drawing 2, but once I insert, so you can see the author, there is nothing linked, there's the date, the description, the file name, and the author, there's nothing. If I go to browse, if I insert, let's say, steering arm, open, so it auto-populates the author, the file name, and description properties. Perfect. So that'll be it for this video. In the next video, we'll go ahead and create the drawings using this template.